Given that influencers are always recording everything they do, well, it's inevitable that sometimes they're going to expose themselves. Whether it's an accidental upload or just missing something in an edit or a clip, unfortunately the internet has eagle eyes. Starting us off at number 10, we got the Jenners. Kendall and Kylie Jenner have built an empire for themselves and each other, although it seems Kylie has really taken the lead in regards to the value of her brand. Regardless, guys, as we know, the whole family is a brand in themselves, but Kendall and Kylie, who have their own brand, which is literally called Kendall and Kylie, exposed each other when Kendall had a 25th birthday party. It was during a time where cases were at an all-time high, and a lockdown was in effect in California, yet still Kendall threw a Halloween party with all of her famous celebrity guests, and not a mask in sight. At least from the photos and videos, which technically shouldn't have been shared, but were, thanks to Kylie. There was actually a notice encouraging people to take pictures and videos, but not share them to Instagram or any social media. Yet Kylie appeared to do just that, and as you can imagine, the backlash that followed was quite rough. But it was fun. At number 9, Jake Paul. I mean, we know time and time again that Jake Paul has done things to really piss people off. Whether it's Conor McGregor, Dana White, or any other UFC fighter, Tyson and Tommy Fury, or even other YouTubers. Jake is the king of getting under one's skin. Love him or hate him, he's good at insults and encouraging people to go after him. Although some may disagree that that's the right way to go about business, you'll soon learn there is no right way in business, as it truly is a dog-eat-dog world. That being said, it seems Jake crossed the line and exposed himself, leading some backlash while he lives in Puerto Rico with his brother, who is training for his fight with Floyd Mayweather. Posting to his story before deleting it after being called out, Jake, Logan, and the crew were seen driving a motorized vehicle on a beach. The issue is that this beach is apparently a hotspot for turtles to lay eggs, and you guessed it, they were driving on the beach during egg laying season. I don't think that's actually a term. Either way, Jake and company claimed total innocence, with Logan at one point saying it was a private beach, but it seems as of now the incident is being investigated by local authorities. Yikes. On to number 8, Shan Heffley. This fitness influencer exposed himself a few years back simply to prove a point to his followers. Heffley is jacked, as you can clearly see. However, like most influencers, he too would edit some of his photos. Whether he wanted to make it appear he's more ripped than he actually is, which, I mean bro, come on, you're shredded. Or he just wanted the colors in the photo to pop, Shan would casually edit his photos. Yet one day, Shan decided that he would show his followers the real deal. So he uploaded a photo of himself, side by side, unedited, on his Instagram. On one side was the original photo that had no edits at all, with the text no edit, and on the other side was a clearly edited photo of Shan where he looks much more defined and there is text reading edited. Unfortunately, he has since deleted the post. However, it was captioned with a lengthy note that the majority of who and what you see on social media, especially Instagram, is heavily edited, and that you shouldn't be comparing yourself to nearly impossible images to maintain, which is unfortunately what it seems a lot of people do with social media. It seems Shan wanted to spin the narrative, although I don't know why he'd delete his post. Either way, a lot of respect for the guy. On to number 7, we got Azusaga Koyuki. This is an absolute bonkers story, as a young Japanese woman who had an obsession with motorcycles turned out to be a 50-year-old Japanese man who had an obsession with motorcycles. And also very nice hair. He was just using a Facetune-like app. Wild times, my friends. Wild times indeed. So the influencer here, or I guess the man behind this, who is just known as Zongu, was able to grow himself a following of over 20,000 on Twitter simply by posting photos of himself posing as a young woman who's into bikes. Speaking with BBC, he explained his decision, which it's really weird, but I kind of understand why he did it. I quote him saying, "No one will read what a normal middle-aged man taking care of his motorcycle and taking pictures outside posts on his account." However, over time it seems Zongu kind of got obsessed with his influencer persona, which led to Azusaga Koyuki to go from posting all motorcycle stuff to just regular selfies and even glamour shots. Kind of like a catfish, if you will. He would expose himself after there was some suspicion with people calling out the arm hair in some of his photos, or I guess her photos, or a potential reflection of a man in photos with a mirror. Although arm hair on women is normal, so I don't really understand like where they get that idea from. Side note, if you didn't know, women have arm hair, so that's just a thing. Either way, well, on the Monday Late Show, which is similar to any nightly show, Zongu exposed himself, yet still it seems his following has only increased, so good for him. In at number 6, we got TBH Byron. Byron Denton is the man's name, and he's an influencer that actually did a social media experiment. As we know, influencers appear to make money just making their followers envious of the life they have. I don't mean that in an insulting way, but Byron somewhat proved that. He faked being on a private jet, shopping at the Louis Vuitton store, and all that fun stuff, simply by using Photoshop and a green screen. And people were buying into it, to the point that his friends and family who saw these posts on social media were wondering where he was getting all that money from in the first place. Byron simply faked this life of a rich influencer, and it apparently worked, as he explained in a YouTube video that his engagement increased significantly. We're talking likes, comments, follows, they all saw a big upswing, so clearly Instagram, or at least Byron's followers, are into living vicariously through others. Now at number 5, Jenny Ambula. I've included Jenny on a few lists over the years, and well, it seems there couldn't be a list more fitting for her than this one. Unfortunately, her page is no longer available on Instagram, and that's likely because she was arrested and charged along with her father, Omar, who was a border agent in Colombia. So long story short, it seems Omar would do shady things in exchange for money, which he would then send or launder to his daughter Jenny, who is living in Miami, where she would attend the University of Miami. You guys see where this one's headed? I can't confirm exactly what Omar would turn a blind eye to. Maybe food, cars, jewelry, maybe other things. I genuinely don't know. I'm just joking. Actually, I have no idea what he didn't claim or, say he saw. What I do know is Jenny would take the money, spend it on luxury items like fancy clothes and cars and jewelries. I mean, you guys know, and then post it to Instagram as an influencer, like they all do. Unfortunately, this was all the evidence the Colombian authorities would need to prove what Omar and his family were doing, thus leading to an arrest. Yeah, talk about exposing yourself, eh? The issue is when I type expose themselves, you get one of two things. You get this side of it, and then you get the side of adult entertainment. So it's a very dangerous word. Number 4, Tekashi69, another influencer who has been on plenty of lists. Tekashi is the epitome of what you see on social media isn't always what you get. As we know, for a while, Tekashi was making headlines claiming to be involved with gangs and living that lifestyle. Then he did a total 180, went to court and snitched on a handful of gang members who are now facing jail time. It's been a very strange situation. I'm genuinely surprised nothing has happened to Tekashi, and hopefully nothing does, but as you can imagine, many people aren't happy with the guy. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone tries to go after him. Then again, you think they would have by now, so who knows? Regardless, guys, he claims they turned on him, and that's why he decided to snitch, but at the end of the day, it seems he was never really about that life, and instead, just tried to play it up to sell some records. When things got real, as we know, the authorities got involved, people were sent to prison for a very long time, and Tekashi, after serving a short prison sentence, maybe it was like 8 months or a year, maybe, I think? Well, he's now back to his old ways of calling out other rappers and just trolling the world while making headlines non-stop. Unclear what the future has in store for him, but it seems even after exposing himself for not really being a part of that life, he's still got millions of fans and followers, or at least people that just want to see what he's up to. So he makes for good entertainment. Kind of like Jake Paul. At number 3, Hush Puppy. Much like our friend Jenny, it seems Hush Puppy here also exposed himself on Instagram. Guys, have you not seen the movie Casino? They literally tell them not to go out and buy flashy things after getting a big score. Unless, was it Goodfellas? No, I'm almost positive it was Casino. Almost positive it was Casino. Either way, guys, the man's real name is Raman Abbas, and although he appeared to live quite a lavish lifestyle, well, it's not all that meets the eye. Similar to Jenny, it seems Hush here laundered money he would make illegally by purchasing expensive clothes and flashy cars. And like most influencers, Hush Puppy wanted to show off his wealth, so he did exactly that. And as per sources, one of his Instagram birthday posts is what led to the authorities right to him. And it's not so much what he posted that got him in trouble, but more so how he afforded what he posted. Authorities arrested Abbas and a handful of his associates in relation to numerous cybercrimes, which they believe is what led to him living such a lavish lifestyle. Upon his arrest, authorities would claim numerous phones, laptops, and tens of millions in assets and cash. Guess being an influencer isn't all that meets the eye, folks. Sometimes they're just people committing cybercrimes or laundering money legally. Be someone they're not. Number 2, we got Anne Salamanca. One of the more recent to expose themselves. Anne is from Alabama, but has grown a massive following in the Philippines, where she is known as Mika Salamanca on TikTok. And while traveling from Manila to Hawaii, it seems Anne, or Mika, whoever she is, decided she wasn't going to follow the 14-day mandatory quarantine protocol required for all international travelers. And as they say in Scooby-Doo, she may have gotten away with it if it wasn't for all those meddling kids. Posted to her TikTok, Salamanca exposed herself dancing around at a local grocery store and going out to eat just 4 days after her arrival. Although she claimed innocence upon being caught, explaining that law enforcement told her she could leave her residence with a negative COVID test, it appears the local authorities argued that claim. She was arrested, released on $2,000 bail, and then deported back home to the USA. Yikes. Which I guess Hawaii is like the US. I think she was just deported back to Alabama. I don't know. And then at number 1, Mia Wilde. This is the craziest of the crazy, as Mia is actually a reporter who is simply just trying to understand or prove something, as any good journalist does. I should take notes. Good thing I'm an actor. Either way, Mia here isn't actually Mia, and instead is Caliste Wittenberg, a reporter for SBS who spent 6 months deep diving into the world of Instagram influencers. And she did expose herself. After her 6-month investigation, Mia, or I guess Caliste, would explain all about the ups and downs she saw herself go through as an influencer. From buying followers to start out, to posting pictures in which at first she was incredibly self-conscious about, it seems over time she started to embrace the idea of the influencer. However, she admitted it's not all that meets the eye, explaining how tough it truly was even after getting signed by an agency to get her brand deals. I quote her, "It is a full-time job, and I wonder if it is worth the pay that they are getting for most of them. There's a small percentage that do seem to crack through and earn bigger bucks, but the overwhelming majority would be like me and making very little. All in the name of journalism. You gotta love it.
Coming in at number 10, Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen had probably one of the worst summers of all time. Right when the pandemic happened, a Twitter thread unleashed some of the worst stories involving her and capturing every bad thing that she had ever done. Due to claims of a toxic work environment, an investigation was done into the show that exposed a lot of high-level executives who had abused their power and position with the show. In her apology video, Ellen said that she began saying to be kind to one another after a young man named Tyler Clementi took his own life because he was bullied for being gay. A tragedy that never should have happened, but Ellen thought the best way to honor him was to just spread kindness. Unfortunately, taking on the title of TV's Queen of Nice was a much bigger deal than she ever could have imagined. She then encouraged the audience to never give themselves that kind of a nickname. Because as we saw with Ellen, even the people we think are nice can be rude sometimes. It's human nature, and honestly I think we just need to forget about Ellen and move on by putting our energy into better places. Coming in at number 9, Vanessa Hudgens. In perhaps one of the most tone-deaf videos that we've seen in a while, this actress showed us how truly uneducated her opinions were with this video.
Even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but like, inevitable?
I mean, she sounds like if Thanos were a Valley girl. During an Instagram live, she decided to reply to some fans, and obviously people were asking her about the current situation and what her thoughts were on it, but man, did those replies ever go viral. She said before that clip that staying in lockdown until July is BS, and then she word for word said this: "I'm sorry, but like, it's a virus, I get it, I respect it." I'm sorry, but how does one respect the virus? Oh yeah, by washing your hands, wearing a mask, and staying away from your grandparents. Then when people started getting angry with her comments, she said that they were taken out of context, but then failed to provide the context. Coming in at number 8, Chet Hanks.
What's up, everyone? Yeah, it's true. My parents got coronavirus. Crazy.
Chet Hanks must be the least favorite kid in the Hanks household right now. Not only did he do this response shirtless, but his whole attitude seemed very casual about the fact that his mom and dad were locked down and actually have the virus. Not only that, but when he got some backlash for this, he just doubled down on the crazy. Chester then started trolling Tom Hanks fans, saying that his family was in the Illuminati. Yes, because in times of absolute chaos, we need this Grand Theft Auto character spewing nonsense to the world, further stirring the conspiracy pot. He then started joking even more about how he's going to have to work extra hard on his human sacrifices because he's feeling hungry. Lemmy, will someone please take away this man's phone? Because nothing good ever happens when the camera points in his direction.
Oh my god.
Big up the whole island, massive. It's your boy Chetana, coming straight from the Golden Globes, you know what I'm saying? Me father Tom Hanks presenting in a what, soon forward come.
Coming at number 7, Bryan Adams. I think it's safe to say that Bryan Adams will always remember the summer of COVID-19. The 60-year-old Canadian singer stirred a ton of controversy after having to cancel a 3-night stint of shows in London. In the tweet he said, "Tonight was supposed to be the beginning of a tendency of gigs at the Royal Albert Hall, but thanks to some bat-eating, wet market animal selling, virus-making greedy bastards, the whole world is now on hold." Now regardless of where the coronavirus came from, it's tweets like this that are causing a violent energy towards Asian Americans. Oddly enough, Adams got more annoying when he tried to spin this tweet into an advocacy for a vegan diet. This really angered a lot of people, and rightfully so. One user commented, "Did not have Bryan Adams tweets racist bullshit as a 2020 moment, but here it is, right before our very eyes." Coming at number 6, Gal Gadot. Imagine if celebrities singing from their mansions could fix this widespread pandemic. That's probably what Gal Gadot's first thought was the day that she decided to have a bunch of celebrity friends sing Imagine by John Lennon into their cell phones. And quite poorly, I must say.
I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
God, did you see that little smirk that she did at the end? It just says it all, doesn't it? Look how pleased she is with herself. On the plus side, instead of bringing the world together for one big kumbaya song, they instead united us all in hatred. It was the only thing on the internet that the people as a collective agreed was about as unnecessary as a Gary V NFT. And as a result of her trying to comfort her fans, Gal ended up feeling the full brunt of the Twitterati who threw a hashtag Gal Gadot is over party upon the tone-deaf video going viral. Coming at number 5, Kathy Kathy Griffin. In 2017, the comedian became a magnet for controversy after posting photos of herself holding a ketchup-covered head that looked exactly like Donald Trump. I suppose the networks were frightened of this PR disaster, and so Leno, Conan, Ellen, The View, Live with Regis and Kelly, The Today Show, and Letterman all banned Kathy Griffin from coming on live TV. CNN would also go on to announce that they relieved Griffin of her New Year's Eve coverage duties, a job that she held with the network for close to a decade. President Donald Trump even responded to the graphic imagery when he tweeted, "Kathy Griffin should be ashamed of herself. My children, especially my 11-year-old son Barrett, are having a hard time with this. Sick." Griffin did end up apologizing and said, "I sincerely apologize. I'm a comic. I crossed the line. I moved the line, then I cross it. I went way too far. The image is too disturbing. I understand how it offends people. It wasn't funny. I get it. I beg for your forgiveness." Coming in number 4, Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf was loved by many as a young actor, and he even received a Young Artist Award nomination. Plus, he won a Daytime Emmy Award in 2003 for Even Stevens, although Shia LaBeouf's career would soon take a terrible turn. In 2017 alone, the actor was sued for $5 million by a bartender, he was arrested in Savannah, Georgia for public intoxication, and he was ordered to attend a 10-week rehab program. He was also arrested in Austin, Texas, and witnesses say that the actor was blitzed, out of control, and disobeyed the police. Shia was then taken to the Travis County Jail and booked for misdemeanor public intoxication. Shia, who's been to rehab, has been dogged by substance abuse problems, and while he has delivered some terrific performances in these latest projects, many fans still can't stand his level of defiance. Coming in number 3, Madonna. Madonna received a ton of backlash after a video she posted to Instagram of her enjoying a bath while ranting about the pandemic. The clip was shared to her nearly 15 million followers as she sat in a bathtub filled with rose petals while listening to some creepy piano music.
How old you are, what amazing stories we can tell. It's the great equalizer.
Then she ends the whole video giving her legion of fans little to no hope whatsoever. She closes out by saying, "Like I used to say at the end of Human Nature every night, if the ship goes down, we're all going down together." Oh, thanks Madonna, that really calmed me down. The backlash for this post was insane, with many calling her and other celebrities out for getting early access to testing kits and somehow still finding a way to complain. Coming in number 2, Armie Hammer. If you've been following the insane story regarding Armie Hammer sending bizarre DMs, then you'll know that the man has a bit of a fetish for the taste of human flesh. Well, it seems as though these heinous allegations have resulted in all major film studios dropping the actor. Several women have accused him of heinous crimes, and due to the Los Angeles Police Department opening up an investigation, Walden Media had dropped him from his role in Billion Dollar Spy. As for the film Death of the Nile, an executive said that hundreds of people had already worked on the project, so they refused to scrap it over one individual. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that move plays out for them. And last but certainly least, coming in at our number 1 spot, J.K. Rowling. Gone are the days where J.K. Rowling was simply known as the author of Harry Potter. Nowadays, she seems to be getting herself involved with all kinds of controversial issues, and her constant sassy tweets aren't really helping her case. When someone complained about her being too wealthy, she said that she would type a longer response, but the diamond keypad hurts her fingers. Then after making a stern position about the transgender movement, J.K. Rowling became even more of a lightning rod for controversy. The reason we truly need to forget about J.K. Rowling is because she is seemingly feeding into her own controversies. For example, after she got backlash for her discriminatory trans comments, she wrote a book where the villain is a man who dresses as a woman. So yeah, didn't exactly calm things down when that happened. She even published it under the ghost author name Robert Galbraith, and somehow the irony is lost on her that she identifies as a man for books but has a problem with people who say that they don't feel comfortable in their own bodies. Gotcha.